Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Disney stock dipping under $100, which is so weird because it seems like they were actually doing better. I'm not sure
Well, better is relative. I mean, a couple of months ago, they were at 120 some dollars a share, and then better was 102. So overall, it wasn't better, but it was better for the time period.
Yeah, so they had a big hit with Inside Out 2, which we've talked about, which was a huge surprise. I did not expect this one to... I mean, I knew it would do well, but I didn't expect it to do this well. I don't think anybody expected it to do this well, but a lot of people are pointing to this and being like, hey, Disney, all you have to do is go back to being Disney and Pixar and you'll make money. You know, and so yeah, we're gonna talk about this stock drop, and of course we got the Motley Fool standing for Disney, saying, "Hey, you need to buy
Hand over fist.
Hand over fist, fist Mickey, fist Mickey, everybody." So a lot of stocks are down, but they pointed to Disney and Nike in particular as being indicative of the big stock drop in the last couple days. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, you get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, so it's up a little bit. Was it $98 at one point? $98.55, I guess, which is not good. This is, you know, Disney does not want to be under $100. And, you know, so we got this article yesterday coming from Market Watch. Dow's 100-point fall led by losses in Nike and Walt Disney. Again, these are the two big ones that dropped off a cliff. Nike went, I don't know what's going on here, 20%?
Wow.
I'd have to look into that. I don't follow sneaker culture very, very closely, but I have to look into why Nike dropped 20%. Yeah, it said the Dow Jones is down Friday afternoon with shares of Nike and Walt Disney delivering the stiffest headwinds.
Sorry.
The stiffest headwinds for the price-weighted average. Yeah, so Nike and Disney. And yeah, I don't know. Nike dropped $19.17 and Disney are off $3.29. Combining for a roughly 148-point drag on the Dow. McDonald's and some others are contributing significantly to the decline too. But so it's not just Disney. But
no, it's not just Disney. But you know, they have this big win, but their stock isn't going up. It actually is going down. Now, granted, it could be across the market, but it still should be going up higher.
Yeah, so what is going on here? So there are a lot of things that might be going on and why Disney is declining, and McDonald's, we know, they're kind of in trouble now too. Consumers are getting tired of the price gouging with fast food restaurants. And Disney's got a lot of issues going on behind the scenes. So even though they have a win with Inside Out 2, they've been mired in controversy. We actually have a fresh round of potential lawsuits. One of them, weirdly enough, being the Village people.
Yes.
The Village
people.
The
ones that are left.
The Village people that are left. Yeah, I was actually, the most surprising thing about this article is the guy who owns the Village People trademark or name now is married to a woman. That was the most surprising thing about the article. But yeah, they're suing Disney for hostile treatment. We've got the James O'Keefe expose.
Yeah, I don't think that's helping. It got a couple different executives basically saying the same thing. You know, the C-suite's only going to be white Jewish guys. Well, they think that's kind of different because one person's like, you can't get promoted unless you're, unless you have DEI, and then but then the other person's saying, but to a certain point, and then after you get to that point, C-suite's only white Jewish people. Yeah, it is. Dudes.
It is weird how that works. I mean, we've seen this time and time again with all these companies that claim to be diverse and inclusive. At 99.9% of the time, it's white people at the top. And so it's just very, very weird how that works. Very weird how that works. But yeah, so they got that going on, and I think they're just looking at the economy. I think they're looking at the presidential debate even. Lots of things going on. I think they're like, hey, yeah, we don't know what direction the country's going to go in. The economy is not good right now. People are really feeling the pinch. And Disney is a luxury item. Nike is a luxury item.
Yeah, I think that's a lot to do with it. I think people we don't know. And everything is just getting more and more expensive. People are losing their jobs. Like over in California, for example, they raised the minimum wage to $20 an hour, which is great, except that a lot of these places can't afford it. So they're shutting down. So a lot of people are, already having rising costs. And now they have no job. and it's just they just don't have the money for it, and it doesn't look good.
No, I mean, I was trying to explain to our son, like I look at, our kids, and like such a large part of their lives was spent during the pandemic, right? I mean, we're talking like, a quarter of their lives spent in and around the pandemic. And I try to explain to him that like the inflation that we're seeing now is not normal. Like, it's really not normal. The last time it was this bad, I think, was in the 70s. And there are a lot of similarities between what's going on now, I think, and what happened in the 70s. Now, the good news is the 80s came, and everybody had a lot more money and everything was awesome. But, then we swung back around in the 90s. And there is a pattern, not to be that guy, but if you look at who's in charge during the upswings and the downswings, there is a tendency. There's a correlation, I believe, between economics and who's in the White House. And I think they're kind of looking at that right now. I just think a lot of people don't have a real good feeling. A lot of families might be like, I don't know if we can spend the extra money. I mean, going to movies, one thing, but it might be like they go see Inside Out, they go see Wolverine. They're not going to go to Disney World, though. They're not going to take that $6,000 cruise. And
while they have Inside Out, I think it's looking ahead too. They have Inside Out 2's doing well. They're expecting Deadpool and Wolverine to do well. Moana 2 probably do well. But looking into next year, other than maybe the Fantastic Four, I do not think Snow White's going to do well. I do not think that Captain America is going to do well. I do not think that the Thunderbolts are going to do well. And heading into next year, we're seeing like, it's great for now, but what about in the future?
Yeah.
I think that they're looking at that too. Yeah, and then Tiana's Bio Venture having trouble again, like this morning. I don't know if it has opened since. Day 2 of the official public opening, it was down.
So I'm looking at the situation with the theme parks, especially because the theme parks are a huge revenue driver for Disney, right? I'm looking at this and I'm like, it's not a good look to have this attraction that was, very contentious retheme. A lot more people did not want them to change Splash Mountain than were okay with them changing Splash Mountain. But regardless, they did it. But it doesn't even work.
And you don't think it didn't work before? It was breaking all the time. And you think when they spent all those months, first thing they would have done was fix the ride system.
Well, it cost money.
But instead, they're spending all this money on these advanced animatronics that keep breaking.
Yeah.
And a bunch of fake flowers.
Yeah. And there's no thrill. I mean, again, this would have been a no-brainer. When they said it was going to be based on Princess and the Frog, my first reaction was like, you know what? I love Splash Mountain, but I also love Dr. Facilier. And if they put that on the drop, and they do a really good job with it, I'm sold. But they won't even do that because it's too scary. We can't have that.
No, it's because we give religion and all that stuff. So they're toning all this stuff down. The same people that are just like sanitizing everything because they're afraid they're going to offend somebody are the people they're putting in charge of the expansions. They're taking down Peter Pan's. What is it? Peter Pan's Flight.
Yeah,
they're taking that down next month. Okay, it's going to go for refurb. Now some places are saying, it's only going to last like 6 weeks. I don't think so because they were saying that even Test Track was showing the same day. We know that's going to probably go into next year. It's just that's how long the refurb schedule goes out. It's probably going to be down for a while. People think they're going to go in. The sensitivity changes.
I'm sure
is what's going to happen to Peter Pan.
They're going to take the Indian scene out, Native American scene.
The Neverland tribe or whatever. They're going to take that out.
Absolutely.
Or they're going to make changes to it in some way. And that's probably what they're doing because they're sanitizing everything. Meanwhile, Universal's coming with Epic Universe and they're bringing it. Like you have Dark Universe. They're going to, they're just going for it.
I've seen more people get excited, more Disney influencers get excited about Epic Universe because they're not afraid to make you afraid. Like they're like, you won't even do Dr. Facilier. We're going to give you all kinds of crazy ass monsters and we're going to scare the hell out of you. And where's the David S. Pumpkins attraction? Scare the hell.
I don't think they're going to put that, but they have had him walk around, I think at Disney or at Universal Studios.
Well, yeah, because he's NBC. That'd be Saturday Night Live.
So,
yeah, he should just come up behind you and scare the hell out of you.
Right.
But he should be at every Halloween Horror Nights. But like they're yeah, that's lots of questions. I don't want the questions answered. When they try to answer the questions, it's not as fun. But like, they're not afraid to scare the hell out of you. They're bringing their A game, and Disney
they also do Halloween Horror Nights,
right? And Disney's just
Mickey's
limping.
Not So Scary.
They're like, oh, it's not so scary, guys. It's a kinder, gentler, DEI inclusive.
I prefer Mickey's Not So Scary because I don't like the horror stuff. But you and the kids,
I want to shit my pants.
I'm the odd person out. They love it. Like they're just gonna be like, yeah, bring it.
I love Halloween Horror Nights. God, I love it so much. And this year, we're going to have to go down this year. They've got Ghostbusters, and they're going to have Quiet Place. And I just took the kids to go see Quiet Place yesterday. And
they love it.
It wasn't as quiet as the other ones because it took place in New York on day one. But all she wanted was a piece of pizza. That's it. She couldn't have her piece of pizza. It was actually pretty. It was pretty good. It wasn't. I think the other two are better, but it was okay. It was all right. But anyway, that being said, like Disney, they're kind of losing the plot, right? Just all the way around. But according to the Motley Fool, you need to buy Disney stock right now.
Yeah, and the reasons are like solid fundamentals with upsides to earning. Yeah, that's why their stock has dropped.
This feels like AI.
I mean, you have to consider the big picture. I am considering the big picture. The big picture is next year for the film slate. They don't look promising.
No, I think
the parks. Well, that's another thing. The parks with the up charges. Now they're changing Lightning Lane, and then the whole disability access. There was a video yesterday on Twitter going around about this one girl, and she clearly would be one that you would think would get disability access, and they wouldn't give it to her. And there's a whole backlash with the disability access. Like the parks, are going to get their ass kicked next year at Epic Universe. I don't care if they announce a whole new park at D23 till they get around to building it. It's going to take a long time. And that's going to be more money sunk into it. So I don't see these upside to earnings. Oh, the streaming service is Disney Plus. They added 6 million Disney Plus core subscribers to start the year. Yeah, you mean when they were giving all kinds of deals? They were giving all kinds of deals. Like so many months you for like $1.99 a month, you got how many months of Disney Plus? That's why they're adding a bunch of new subscribers.
Yeah, and this is the biggest lie of tech, right? These tech companies are not sustainable. What they do is they basically give it to you for free or low cost before they start charging you. And a lot of times people don't convert. They drop out as soon as they stop giving them free stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we see these companies shutter after 5 or 10 years because they're like, oh, it's not sustainable. I'm like, it never was. You never actually had customers. You had a bunch of freeloaders. You had a bunch of people that just wanted to use your platform and not pay for it. And you got them used to using it for free. And then all of a sudden you started hitting them with a bunch of upcharges. And God, like Hulu, well, they're getting sued. They're getting sued for that too. Speaking of lawsuits, I read yesterday that YouTube TV subscribers are suing Disney because of the ESPN bundle or something. So that's another lawsuit they got to contend with. That's a class action suit.
Well, they just had to pay out over the Magic Key in California.
Yeah,
and that whole thing they lost that. They're trying to get the Gina Carano thing, and they're
that's a whole
forward.
nother. Yeah,
well, I think they're moving forward. I haven't said anything
else about it. They're moving forward with that one. Yeah.
I don't know because they hadn't announced it when I looked last, so I haven't checked it. But okay, so then number 2, a surprising box office blockbuster, Inside Out 2. Yeah, okay, great. And I do think that Deadpool versus Wolverine's going to do well. I don't know about Alien Romulus. I haven't seen enough of it to tell you. Did you see anything? What do you think about that one? I don't watch that anyway, so.
People seem excited for this one. I'm really torn because most of the Alien movies lately have been pretty disappointing. I actually am in the very small camp of people that liked Prometheus. I did like Prometheus. I was hoping it would go off in a totally different direction than Alien. And they dropped the ball with Covenant, and they basically and I think it was studio pressure. I think they went back to Ridley Scott and said, just make a more traditional Alien movie, but it didn't mesh up with Prometheus at that point. But people seem excited about this one. I don't know. I mean, to be honest, like I thought they dropped the ball with all the Fox stuff, but Prey was actually pretty good. Predator, Prey. Mm-hmm. I did not expect it to be good. It was actually pretty good.
I didn't watch it, of course.
So the kids want to see it. They're all into the Alien movies.
Yeah,
now,
so that'll be another one you go without me to see.
I'm sorry, they don't like the horror movies. You don't like horror movies.
I never get to go to the movies, and I never get to go out on dates. But that's a whole other story. So Deadpool
We're
versus
here complaining about Star Wars
Wolverine.
all the time.
I think is going to do well. I think Moana 2 is going to do well. But again, I think we have a lot coming up this year. It's going to do well. Next year, I don't see a lot of things I think are going to perform very well next year. So you have this year, which is going to be like, yay, it's win, but okay, what, then what? Then what? Kind of thing,
Yeah, because I think when you're buying Disney, you want to look at, and the thing is, it's so up and down. Most people be like, yeah, wait till it stabilizes, right? Because I mean, I sold mine when it was almost $200 a share. And then it just kept dropping. Then it went up a little bit, and everybody's like, Clownfish, look at the stock. Disney's going to be great. They're going to be making as much money as Netflix. I'm like, they're nowhere near Netflix.
No. 3 streaming bundles can unlock value, and they're talking about the Disney, Warner Brothers, Fox, Discovery thing.
Yeah.
But there's also the one with Netflix that's coming out with, it's like Netflix Apple and something
Peacock.
else. Yeah, and it's coming out too. So the streaming bundles can unlock value, true. But now there's another one that's bigger than theirs that already has prices and information out.
Yeah.
So they're going to probably beat them to the punch. So it can unlock more value if people want that.
Disney, it would have been a whole lot smarter to just create the best Disney content you could create and put it on Netflix if you wanted to, and not have to compete head to head with Netflix.
But that could be argued for many of these streaming services.
All right, let's go start a competing operating system. Let's bet the company. Let's bet everything on competing with Microsoft at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it didn't make a lot of sense.
Theme park expansion is going to drive long-term growth. Long-term, what, 10 years? 10 years. Theme park expansion. Okay, here's the problem with your theme park expansion issue. You already have theme parks that people are complaining about because you nickel and dime the guests. You keep raising prices. You're like I said, Tiana's doesn't even work half the time. No. And already you're like, well, now it's Lightning Lane, and you can buy individual single lane prices for this, and you're making it very more complicated and more expensive. And people are pissed. It's like it's Fast Pass Plus without being free. So you're already pissing people off. You keep jacking prices. You don't have any announcements. You're going to do stuff in California over 10 years. You're going to do $17 billion in Florida over 10 to 15 to 20 years. So you're going to have announcements, but that doesn't mean it's going to be built anytime soon. And you're going to have to come up with the money to build it. So you're going to nickel and dime people more to get the money to pay for it. You're going to have to get the money somewhere.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to take the money from parks revenue and stop bankrolling everything else to put it back in the parks. So, long term, in 10 years.
Yeah.
So it's like across the next decade. I even say across the next decade.
So...
Plus, they're doing most of it overseas.
And how much competition are they going to have then? Because Universal's already talking about building mini parks. We know Legoland has parks all over the place. We just got an ad today for Legoland in New York. Mm-hmm. And if you've got, they might be smaller parks, but if they're closer to home and you don't have to pay for flights and you can just go for a day or two, a lot of people are just going to do that. They're not going to fly to Orlando for a week. So, yeah.
Then the next, a compelling valuation. The problem with valuations is they almost always are inflated.
It's bullshit. They're all bullshit. So finally, the main reason I'm bullish on Disney is my view that the stock is simply undervalued.
Okay.
Shares are trading at 21 times its 2024 consensus EPS of $4.73 according to the average of Wall Street estimates. While this forward price to earnings ratio is in line with the company's 10-year average for multiple, the metric looks increasingly attractive in 2025. Blah, 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 blah.
Bullshit. The stock was a couple $100, so that 2 years ago? And now 2 or 3 years ago, and now it was, and then it was even 120 something, and that was considered a win. And then you drop down to being over 100 is considered good. Yes, it looks great moving forward. Damn.
Oh, this is some bullshit. They're like, hey, consider when Nvidia made the list in 2005. If you invested $1,000 in Nvidia, you'd have $800,000 now.
What? Almost 20 years ago?
Almost 20 years ago.
In 20 years, you can get your money back. Oh, I love this. Before you buy Disney, we're one of their stock advisors. You're a stock advisor, and buy through us. We make money.
That's exactly what this is about. So, yeah, I think Disney's got a sweetheart deal with the Motley Fool. Because they're always saying bye, bye, bye. But
especially that Rich or Ricky or whatever his name is. He's always kissing their ass.
But like you can see it. Like they have been up and down so much over the last couple of years, and they should be going up. I mean, the fact that they're talking about park expansion, they got the Florida issue taken care of. Inside Out's doing good at the box office. I guarantee you, Deadpool and Wolverine's going to do good at the box office. Moana 2's probably going to do good at the box office. They should be going up again, and they're not. Because I think they have a lot of dead weight.
There's a bunch of other stuff like going on at the same time. Like all the nickel and diming, the disability access, the whole, O'Keefe videos.
Yeah, that's...
the whole election stuff and the stuff with, politics and things like that going on. I just don't think it's going to go up anytime soon. Not to the numbers that they're claiming it's going to. You're going to make all this money.
Yeah.
Oh, if you hold on to it for 20 years.
20 years. Maybe they'll have one of these theme parks open by then.
Maybe. Maybe your money will be worth more.
Yeah, maybe the MCU will be fixed by then after third reboot or something. We're going to wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.